Hello everyone, Jake here. Today we're going to do some advanced mold making and custom silicone molds. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Today we're going to make some super cool custom silicone molds. I hope. This is my first time doing this technique, but I made a prototyping video on how to do forms for silicone molds. I'll put a link up there and in the description below. I can go ahead and catch you up real quick, and I'll show you what I started with and what I have now and what products they've made so far. So here we go. I'll just take this apart real quick and put it back together. Imagine when we get over to the HDPE ones, you'll see the bolts and everything in there. So this is the top, this is the middle, and then here are what's going to make your pin blanks. And they all have metal threaded inserts in there. And so this is what the bottom part looks like. This is a 1/4 inch deep. And I have rounded over these edges right here so it makes a line in the silicone mold to know we know where to pour to. So we'll end up bolting all that stuff back together like that. One thing I did different since the prototyping video is I cut this. I made this cut right there. And that way, I could fill it with HDPE, but I could put my hashtag Jake blanks in there. And you can see on this one that some of the silicone is stuck in there. This is just a prototype, so you could make a lot nicer form out of MDF, but you could prime it and paint it and sand it and all that kind of stuff. But my ultimate goal was to go to HDPE anyway, and you'll see that in a second. A hashtag Jake blanks, and it made it a lot easier to take the silicone out of the mold once I made this part, 2 parts. That's how they go together. And I actually put how many grams of silicone it takes on there so I won't forget. Here are the first ones I made in that last video. They look pretty good. They look kind of dirty, like the MDF. I put paste wax on it, but it's still you can tell the difference, and it's good. And I'll probably use these. They make good blanks and all that kind of stuff. So that part of it works. The line I'm talking about, you can see the line right there that you know to fill to, and then you have this extra on top so you don't spill everything. That was part of the reason why I made these. And then after I made the cut with the Jake blanks, I made one of each, and some of the parts of the letters tore off of there or whatever because it's porous and it wasn't as slick. And I could have done a better job on that, but the ultimate goal was to go to HDPE. So I was just this is like proof of concept, and that's where the parts cut out. See where the HDPE is? The little cutouts right here, I filled them with HDPE. Look how much cleaner that looks. So that gave me hope that the HDPE was gonna work out pretty well. So I think you get the point on that. It looks good, but it's not professional looking. If it was gonna be something you wanted to sell or show off, you want it to be better than that. Now we'll go look at the HDPE mold. Here's the HDPE molds all put together. You can see the parts sticking out here. That's for the cut, so the name's gonna be right here and right here. You can see these little levels right here. I have them sitting there. And one thing I did after I made those was realize I need an easier way to level them. So these screws sticking up, this one, this one, this one, this one. And I got it on both sets. There's threaded insert, and it goes all the way through, and you just turn that to adjust. These are leveled right now, so I'm not gonna mess with it, but I'll give you you just turn it, and you watch the bubbles go. It's a super easy way to level this stuff. These are level right now. I'll go ahead and show you what we're gonna do. So the blue silicone is Moldstar 16. It has a 6 or 7 minute working time, and then it's silicone. It's super good for prototyping. I could find out right then. I didn't have to wait 24 hours for it to cure and all that stuff. You don't even have time to degas it, which in turn makes it whatever you're going to cast in there doesn't come out as smooth as you would is something that you're going to degas. Now today we're going to use Plat25 from Alumilite. You degas it, it's a 25, so like the 25 means the hardness of it. So if you get a 10, it's going to be real loose and floppy. 25's in the middle, say 50 is going to be real rigid. So 25, and this might not even be the silicone that I use for the final ones, but this is a good starting point that I'm going to use. I'm going to degas it. I'm also going to color it. This is where the custom part of this thing comes in. I have red and green silicone color from Alumilite, and I'm going to try to swirl it. So the silicone blanks will actually be swirled just like the stuff that we tried to make in them. I think that'll be pretty cool. I'm going to try 2 different ways. The first way is I'm going to have color in each bucket, and I'm going to pour them like that. And then the other way is I'm going to have both colors mixed up. I'm going to pour them into one bucket, swirl it a little bit, and then pour that out of that bucket. I think that one's going to be better. But once again, I've never done this before with the color and silicone, so we're going to learn together. Let me get this stuff mixed up. Safety first. We have our safety glasses on, and we have our gloves. All right, so we need to know that this is 1-to-1 by weight or volume. It says it right there. There's also 35 minutes of working time, and then you demold it in 24 hours. That's the thing we need to know. I'm gonna degas it. I'll grab the camera and show you that. I think that's a pretty cool process. This stuff right here, you go to 1% of the total weight. You can go up to 1% of the total weight. So I know how many grams each one takes in those modes. I'm expecting these ones to be the same or pretty close. And this has enough working time, so if I cut it short, then I have enough time to make some more and fix it. The one with the big block molds takes 1,240 grams, so 620, and then we'll go and fast forward. Go ahead and set my timer. This is plenty of time to work with this stuff. 35 minutes it's quite a while. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this fast forward. Since this is clear silicone and it's hard to tell, I just mix for 4 or 5 minutes, even if I think it's good. So I'm just gonna divvy it up roughly in half. I'm not really gonna measure it, but I'll come as close as I can by eye. This is under 40 ounces here, probably like 38 ounces. This measuring cup has a number 6, so I'll go about to 3. So that's pretty good. So it should weigh, it is about 620. So 1% of that is 6.2. So 6.2 grams. And I've never used this once again, so that is red. I don't know what it'll do if you go over, but I'm not gonna try it. That stuff is bright. I hate to waste any of it. And I'll do the same with the green. There we go. I'm pretty excited to see how this is gonna look. "12 and a half minutes in, and now it's about time. I'm pretty confident this is all mixed up. The colors mixed in there well. These colors are awesome, by the way. I probably didn't need to use as much as I used, but I'm under what they say to use, so it's pretty cool. This is super red. It's time to degas this. I'm gonna put one in at a time, and then we're gonna pour it, and I'm super excited. So let me get these in the chamber, and I'll give you a close-up. I have a video on degassing silicone, so I'm not going to go into depth or whatever, but it's fun to watch. Degassing silicone is funner than I thought it would be. I like watching the bubbles come up, and then once they come to their max, then they fall back down. Super cool. It only takes about 4 or 5 minutes per color, and then you're done, and it's free of bubbles. We're at 22 minutes. I'm still in no hurry. This is degassed. I'll probably let it sit a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to pour it out of 2 buckets. Now, I'm going to go against conventional thought. What you're supposed to do is find a corner, pour it from as high as you can, and let it go in there. I want it to swirl, and this is degassed. I'm pretty confident. So I'm going to hit it right in the middle of this and make it swirl the best I can. Now, once again, that's going against what even I know how to do it, but for the sake of trying something, let's try it. All right, I guess there's nothing to it but to get this poured. I'm gonna pour it from as high as I can. Once again, right here in the center. This could be great or it could be a disaster. We'll figure it out. I'm running out of hands. I gotta scrape this stuff out. This is it's fun. I don't know if it's gonna work that great, but it's fun for sure. I'll go ahead and get the next batch mixed up for that one. I'm gonna save you all the mixing and the degassing and everything. When I get ready to pour one into the other, we'll come back then. All right, we're like 21 minutes into this pour, so we've got plenty of time. These are degassed. There's about 800 grams a piece. I put about 7 grams of colorant into each one, so I'm under that 1%. When I pour this into this, is it gonna create a little bit of bubbles? Probably, but that's a good trade-off. If you remember when we just degassed the last set, that millions of bubbles coming out, I don't think it's gonna do that. I might have a couple bubbles in it. So I think the end result will be pretty good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pour one into the other. I don't think it matters which one. And then I'm gonna pour it in there. I'll make sure you get a good shot of it. I don't know if this is gonna be one ugly color now or if it's gonna swirl, but I'm not gonna mix it. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just putting this in here. Get all of this I can into here. And then we'll pour it. I might give it one little swirl or whatever, but I really would like for it to swirl. I'm sure it's gonna turn out pretty cool no matter what it does, but we like the swirls around here. I'm gonna give it one little turn and then we're pouring. So normally you would want to hit in the corner and go, but I found out by doing these prototypes that this spot right here is the best. I kind of just rotate between these 4 inside corners. So here we go. Here goes nothing. Oops. Super cool. It is full. Now this one was a little low, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some in here. I'm gonna do it on one side so we can tell the difference. This is the hard part. We have to show patience and wait, and I have to wait till tomorrow to demold these things. So I'll see you tomorrow. It's 24-hour demold time, and we'll be back tomorrow. It's the next day, and I'm super excited to get these demolded. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where a yearly subscription is less than $10 a month. The first 1,000 subscribers of mine that go click the link in the description below will get a free trial to Skillshare's premium membership. There's thousands of courses on multiple topics like illustration, photography, film and video, and even how to YouTube. So far, I've taken classes on DSLR, how to Instagram, tips on how to YouTube, and now I've been wanting to do some classes on SketchUp. That's something I need to learn how to do, and so what I'm doing right here is just looking up a SketchUp class that I think is going to be interesting. Here's a beginner one. Basics to 3D modeling interior design. So basically you just go in there and hit the button and go ahead and click the arrow, and next thing you know, you're taking a class. This thing it's broken down into 1 or 2 minute little lessons, and Skillshare will remind you where you're at. You don't have to keep track of anything. You go back and turn your computer on, and there you are. You're taking the class again. So pretty cool. Just remember that the first 1,000 subscribers of mine that go to the link below and sign up get a free trial of Skillshare's premium membership. Now, let's get back to the project. Now, I kind of have this set up over here to disassemble and assemblies. Have a little bit of tools and the tools necessary to do this over here. The problem I had when I was prototyping is putting the blocks back in here perfectly on top of the bottom parts I showed you earlier that are recessed, so this stuff should fit on there perfectly. Well, it was taking me a long time to put it back together, and I figured out how to do that by making these little jigs. Just slide it on there. I'll show you how these work in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these apart real quick, demold them, and I'll show you the molds and the things that I did, and then after that we'll take a look at these. I'm going to go ahead and take these apart. These ones here are the levelers, and I actually put the threaded insert on the bottom. This one here is on the top, and I think if I was to do this again, I would probably do it this way so that I could just take it off. I wouldn't have to take these all the way out like I am right now. One thing I am going to change is these are Allen heads, and I thought they would be cool, and they're also tapered. And if you watch the other video, the threaded inserts, I couldn't get them in there exactly straight. So if you had tapered here and tapered here, that's exact. So if that's cocked off a little bit, then there's no way that this is going to be where you want it to go in the end. So I use washers, and then I use these same screws or bolts. Regular bolts like this. I'm going to use the washers and just use these, I think. And I keep stripping the heads out, and the tool keeps getting stuck in there. It's frustrating, so I think this will be much, much better. Ooh-wee. That is super cool. Super cool. We'll look at this in a minute. I'll get this one taken apart real quick and we'll come back. Same kind of operation. One of the things that was bothering me was I was trying to put these back together, and to line those back up was almost impossible, seeing how these aren't in there exactly straight. So I made a jig to help me out with that. So this thing is pretty much just the negative of that. Cut it out on CNC, and it wasn't really as easy as you'd think it'd be, but I made it work, and I cut these out because it was super hard to get it out of there. So you put this in here like this, and sink it all the way down in there, and put these in there. They fit in there nice and well. Now I should be able to flip it over and put the bolts in it. And everything's still in there. I replaced these bolts with these bolts. These are regular, just 7/16 head, 1/4x20. And I think it'll apply more even pressure too. So this is off of the other one, but you see the little flashing we got in there. So obviously either these aren't straight, the bottom's not straight, or these aren't tight enough. But I think this is going to fix that. So we'll just put this in here like this. Get these all finger tight. Get them started with your fingers anyway. So now we have to get this off, and it's not exactly super easy, but it's not super difficult either. Just find a corner, do a little pry bar action. super, super easy. And this is all lined up pretty good. I don't think you'd be able to get this put together without having a line in there, but that line down there makes your fill line. So it kind of works out. There are design changes in the works as we speak, but this is pretty awesome. Let me put the rest of this together real quick. Make sure it's clean. Almost out of this stuff. Mold release for silicone, Alumilite. Now make sure I get a bunch on my Jake blanks up here, because I don't want that getting tore up. This one's ready to go. I'm put it over there, and I'll come back when I have both of them built. Here's our pen blank molds. I'll get all the flashing off of there and give you a beauty shot at the end after I tell you my final thoughts. This stuff turned out really well. Look how cool the patterns are and stuff on there. And we learned a few things. One, these things just means I over poured it. But look how cool that is. So this flashing in between, they're pretty much all the same, which tells me either the HDPE that goes together isn't flat. I checked it, it is flat. I think changing the bolts from those to those will probably fix that. And I'm gonna do another set over here in a minute. Check out Instagram to find out the results on that. But change those bolts so I can tighten it down better. This here, flashing around here is the same way. I have that HDPE where I had separated the mold, the middle part. That needs to be a better fit. So I'll go ahead and give you my final thoughts and then give you some beauty shots of these. First thing, go in the description below and go to Skillshare and get your free trial membership, premium membership to Skillshare. Don't forget them, they sponsored the video. My final thoughts are, I'm gonna make some more of these with these. There's plenty of stuff that I wanna change on these, but I'm gonna make a few and send some out. And I think that's the next step in the process, is I'm gonna send some to people that I know make pen blanks that'll give me their honest feedback. And I'll send a few sets out, and then in a few months I'll revisit this and see if it's something that I want to pursue or not. Appreciate you guys watching. I have a link to all this Alumilite stuff down below. Once again, thank you for watching. If you liked it, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and all that YouTube stuff, and we'll see you guys next time. Y'all be good. Hey, you guys made it to the end of the video. I'd like to thank you for that. And one other thing, if you could go and subscribe to the channel and keep along with this project, please give the video a thumbs up while you're at it. The other thing I need to know is, do you like the pattern on the left or the pattern on the right? So if you could go down in the comments and tell me which one you like better, that'd be great. We'll see y'all next time.